Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday boot camp. I have a fun workout planned, but I promise it really is fun. So I asked last week for more themes, which I haven't gotten any yet. But since it has been so hot, we're going to spell out heat wave today. So a little bit different. We're going to do the first section, 2 rounds, 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest. Second round, we'll do 2 rounds, 45, 15. So we have 2 separate circuits today. So I'll go ahead and get started showing y'all what we're going to be doing. We don't need any equipment today, but if you do have a mat, feel free to grab that. So like I said, we're spelling heat waves. So we're going to do heat first. So first movement here for the H, we're going to do hand walks with a push-up. So we're going to keep that core tight, push those hips back, hands to the ground. We're going to walk all the way out into a plank, keeping those hands below the shoulders. We're going to do our push-up and then push those hips up in the air and then walk our feet towards our hands, push the ground away, and then we'll go back the other direction. So that is going to be our H movement today. And then for the E, we're going to do an eccentric squat. So we're going to take 3 seconds to go all the way down. So we're going to have our feet hip width apart, toes pointed forward, coming down 1, 2, 3, and then push the ground away and stand up all in one motion. So from this angle here, keeping that core tight, back flat, 1, 2, 3, and then push through the ground and stand back up. So that's our E. And then for our A, we're going to do bent over A's. So we're going to work our core and our back a little bit more. So feet hip width apart, push those hips back, hands out in front. We're doing those arms all the way up to the side and back down. We want to act like we're squeezing a piece of paper in between our arm and our body. Don't let that paper fall. So from this angle, we're here, coming out and back down. So that's going to be our bent over A. And then finally for our T, I'm going to push that away. We're going to do our triple switch into our single leg Romanian deadlift. So we're going to start with one knee up. We're going to do 1, 2, 3. We're going to push the hips back, straightening that back leg, keeping that hip pointed towards the ground. Push your ground away, and then 1, 2, 3, same thing on the other side. So really pushing those hips back, using those glutes. So we're going to do that whole circuit 2 times through, and then we're going to move on to the wave. So for the W, we're going to do bent over W. So this is very similar to the bent over A, but we're going to keep our arms bent, coming out and back. So again, from this angle, we're making a W, so those elbows are down, hands are above the elbows. So first movement. And then for our A, we're going to do a squat with alternating abduction. So I know that really doesn't make any sense, but we're going to go ahead, we're going to squat down, and then as we stand up, we're going to bring our leg out to the side, and then the other one in the other way. So that A is the abduction there. And then for the V, we're going to do a vertical skip in place. So yes, this is the same thing as a skip, but vertical starts with a V. So just like our marches that we do sometimes, we're going to have opposite arm, opposite leg. We're going to jump as high as we can. I want us to really try and get a little bit more air this time. Bring those knees up, double tapping on the ground. So that's going to be the V there. And then finally, we're going to end with some eccentric push-ups. So these can be on the hands and knees or on the hands and toes, wherever you're at today. Hands underneath those shoulders. We're going to lower ourselves to the ground, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to get up however we need to, or you can push yourself back up if that's where you're at today. So that's the whole circuit. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our warm-up. So we're going to go to the top of our space here. We're going to start with the world's greatest stretch. So we're going to go ahead, interlace our fingers, grab onto the right knee, pull the right knee towards the chest. Nice big deep breath. And we're exhaling, stepping back into our reverse lunge. Back leg stays nice and straight, hands on the inside of the front foot. Keep that back leg nice and straight. This is going to open up our hips for all of our squats. We're going to do a nice big deep breath. And we're exhaling, opening that left hand towards the ceiling. We're gazing past our thumb. We got to get that rotation through the neck. Nice big deep belly breath. And we're exhaling, planting the hand outside of our front foot. We're going to push our hips up into our hamstring stretch. We're going to feel that all the way through the back of the leg here. Warming our hamstrings up. And we're going to go ahead and exhale, bring our feet together, push the ground away, and stand on up. All right, we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. So interlace the fingers, grab onto the left knee, hold the left knee towards the chest. And we're gonna exhale, step back, reverse lunge. Back leg stays nice and straight. Hands on the inside of our front foot. Keep that back leg nice and straight, opening up those hips. We're gonna take a big, deep belly breath. And we're exhaling, right hand towards the ceiling, gazing past our thumb, getting some rotation in today. Nice, big, deep breath. And we're exhaling, planting the hand outside of our front foot. Push ourselves up into our hamstring stretch. Breathe into that tightness. And we can go ahead and exhale, bring our feet together, push the ground away, and stand on up. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get our upper body a little bit more warmed up here. So we're gonna go ahead and do a few planks and pikes. So we're gonna be on the ground, on our hands and toes in that plank position, keeping everything nice and flat. And we're gonna push our hips up towards the ceiling. We can even pedal those calves a little bit. Pressing one heel into the ground at a time. And back to plank. And pushing up to pike. And back to plank. And two more coming up. And back down. And then on this last one, we're gonna come up, we're gonna stay up here, and we're gonna go ahead and walk our hands towards our feet. And when we're ready, we can go ahead and stand up. And we're ready to rock and roll. So we're gonna do 2 rounds of heat, 2 rounds of wave, 45, 15. Getting the timer going here in 3, 2, 1, and go. So we got our hand walk with push-up first. So starting at the bottom of your space, push those hips back, keep that core tight, walk those hands out into a plank position. And then keeping those elbows nice and tight, we want 45-degree angles. So we're starting our push-up with our hands underneath the shoulders, ending with our hands at the bottom of the ribs. Elbows are about 45 degrees, and then pushing back up. So that's what I want our push-ups to look like. So after that push-up, we push our hips up, and then we're gonna walk our feet towards our hands, and then push the ground away, stand up. So walking our hands out, 3, 2, 1. All right, did so many of those. Next up, we have eccentric squats. I almost skipped to the A. So lowering ourselves 3 seconds down, 3, 2, 1. So we want our feet hip width apart here, going down nice and slow, taking 3 seconds. At the bottom, we want to make sure the inside part of the knee is right over that second toe. Then we're going to push the ground away. We're going to feel that in the glutes and in the quads here. So we really want to focus on driving through the heel, big toe, little toe. So coming down 3 seconds and then standing up. Really making sure that we're not pushing those hips forward. We want to be nice and straight from those heels, hips, and into the shoulders. We want to exhale as we come up. Also, we want to make sure that chest is open. So wear that logo proud if you got a logo on your shirt there. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we have bent over A's. So we're squeezing through the back of the arm. So keep that paper tucked in there. 3, 2, 1. So really important here, before we even push those hips back, bring your butt to your belly button, keep your core tight, push those hips back, and then bring those arms back. So we really want to sink into those hips. We're going to feel it in our back. We don't want it to be painful in our back. Again, making sure we're acting like we're squeezing a piece of paper in between our arm and our body. Don't let that paper fall. Really keeping into those hips. So push that door closed with your butt. Great job. Keep breathing. We're almost there. 3, 2, 1. All right, great job, everyone. Next up, we're going to do our triple switch into single leg Romanian deadlifts. And then we're going to start at the top with our H, and then we're going to move on to the wave. 3, 2, 1. So switching 3 times. We got 1, 2, 3, making sure we're getting those knees up, keep that core tight. push the hips back like we're closing the door, push the ground away. So we want to really focus on pushing. So hips are going back and then pushing through the ground. If the balance and stability isn't there, not a problem. Bring that toe to the ground and then push those hips back, really still using only one leg. So we got 1, 2, 3, pushing back, sinking into that hip. So if you notice, I'm not here coming forward. We're pushing those hips back and then back to that starting position. Great job. Finish strong. 3, 2, 1. All right. Back to our handstand walks. Can you imagine if I made us all do handstand walks right now? Our hand walks with the push-up. So coming to the bottom of your space. 3, 2, 1. I mean, feel free if you want to do some handstand push-ups right now. I will not be joining you, but have fun doing that. We're doing our push-up at the bottom. Try and walk those hands all the way up to our, try and walk your feet all the way to your hands if we can. I know sometimes the flexibility is not there, but that's okay. You need to work on that. Join a stretch break. We got one tomorrow. It's the last one for the week. Great job. Try and get that chest as low as we can in that push-up. Keep those elbows nice and tight. 3, 2, 1. All right. Done with those. I would say done with push-ups. We got more push-ups coming up. All right, eccentric squats coming up next. Get me ready. 3, 2, 1. So bringing the butt to the belly button first. Keep that core tight. Knees tracking past the second toe. Push the ground away. So going as low as you can with keeping your form. You don't have to go as low as I am. We all have different limits here. So really listening to your body, paying attention to what feels good, really driving through again, heel, big toe, little toe. Our foot, it's like a tripod. Letting those knees come forward, but we don't want the knees to come too far forward. So we don't want our weight to shift forward. We want the weight to be in the middle. So we're pushing those hips back, knees come forward. 3, 2, 1. All right. Now we have bent over A's. So we're getting ready for that. From this angle, we're here, coming all the way out to the side, kind of like an airplane. 3, 2, 1. So butt to belly button, lock that core in. So we want to bring the core together and down, push those hips back. Our chest does not have to be parallel with the ground to get the same out of the movement. Y'all know I'm always focusing on intent in moving the muscles we want to use properly. And so this one, we really do want to feel it all along our back here, which is why we want to squeeze that piece of paper in between our arm and our body. We can also kind of act like our elbows are breaking that plane of glass that's sitting along our back. Oh, time's up. Sorry, I wasn't looking. My bad. We're good. We're done. Last movement here, triple switch. And then we're going into wave. So we're going to do bent over W's after this. 3, 2, 1. So we got 1, 2, 3. Push the hips back, push the ground away. So we're switching on each side. Again, really sinking into our hip, push the hips back. Like I always say, we're imagining we got our hands full. We got to close the car door with those groceries in our hands. Also, this is a great one to work on our balance and stability. It does help if you are wearing flat shoes or are wearing no shoes, but I always recommend be nice and careful that we're not stepping on our feet. 3, 2, 1. All right, we got bent over W's next. I'm gonna start those off. So again, instead of coming out like an A, our arms are bent. 3, 2, 1. So having our arms bent at the elbows, We're pushing our elbows up, but we're nice and flat. So trying to make those arms nice and parallel with the ground. We're gonna feel this a little bit more in the middle of the back versus on the side of the back. So if we act like we are squeezing an orange or cracking an egg between those shoulder blades, bringing those shoulder blades down and together, and then driving those elbows up. So break that glass with those elbows. 3, 2, 1. All right, great job. Next up, we're doing our squat with the abduction. So abduction is anytime we bring anything away from the body. So we're going out and back. 3, 2, 1. I don't want to kick the wall. Okay, so feet are hip width apart, just like with our other squats. But as we come up, we're bringing that leg to the side, out, whatever feels good. We want to try and stay as stable in our upper body. So we want to we're not really leaning, we're just kicking the leg out. So another thing to be watchful of is as we stand up and we come out. So just like anytime we do quadruped opposites, we want to make sure that we're not kicking so far out that that back is curved. We want to keep everything as straight as we can. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we're doing our vertical skips. So we got skips coming up. I do want us to try and get a little bit higher than we normally do when we're doing skips. 3, 2, 1. So we're double tapping. Really do want to try and get those legs all the way out in front. If jumping is not your thing today, no problem. You can always just do a march there. But really getting those knees up, opposite arm, opposite leg, double tapping at the bottom. We're staying nice and tall through our torso. Still squeezing the orange between our shoulder blades. This is a great way too to kind of strengthen our hip flexors. We're also keeping that core engaged, bringing the core down and together. 3, 2, 1. All right. Last up, eccentric push-ups. Then we're going to do one more. And then we're going to cool down and go on with the rest of our Wednesday. 3, 2, 1. So you can either be on your hands and knees or hands and toes, keeping the core nice and tight. And then we can get up however we need to. If you are at that point where you can push yourself back up, please do that. We all know that I really hate push-ups, and I will not be pushing myself back up after doing all of our other push-ups. I also got to save myself in case we're doing push-ups tomorrow or Friday. So lowering nice and slow, keeping, again, our starting point is here, ending here, finishing here. 3, 2, 1. I'm not even doing that one. All right. Yeah, now we're doing our bent over W's again. So we're going to stand on up, keeping those elbows bent all the way up. 3, 2, 1. So tuck butt to belly button, pushing into those hips, keeping our elbows bent and slightly below those shoulders. So it's kind of like the bottom of a lat pull down here. So we're here activating our upper back muscles. This is great to work on our posture. So these are going to help work those upper back muscles, which is really helpful if we're at the computer, at the desk during the day, offsetting some of that motion here, that position. 3, 2, 1. All right, we got our squats with our abduction. So we're bringing our leg out. And again, keeping that core engaged, we really just want to use the glutes. We don't have to kick super high. 3, 2, 1. So we're not kicking super high. It's a very small lift there. So we're not kicking as much as we are lifting very slightly. Because when the moment we start to kick, you can see the difference in my back versus the small lift. So keeping that core, if we act like we're to zip the front of the core up, bringing each side together, down, kicking up. Or sorry, lifting. I'm using the wrong words. All right, finish strong here. 3, 2, 1. All right, we're gonna skip, and then we have push-ups, and then we are gonna be on the ground for our cool down. So we're getting ready here. 3, 2, 1. So we're coming up, double tapping, and trying to get a little bit higher than we normally do. Great job. Getting those knees up. And again, if skipping and jumping is not your thing today, go ahead and just march, making sure that our feet are picking up right under us. We're punching the ground away. Now, if we're punching the ground, we're also double tapping, punching through for our skips. 3, 2, 1. All right, last up, eccentric push-ups. And then we'll do a couple stretches and then we'll be good to go. 3, 2, 1. So hands beneath those shoulders, tucking the pelvis. So if our pelvis is not tucked, our back might look like this. Want to bring the butt to the belly button and then get ready to lower yourself nice and slow. And I do like to do these to make sure we're still building that strength, but we're also building the strength in the whole total body to work our way up to a full push-up. So I do like doing these better than any of the kneeling push-ups. One was too fast. Great job. We got a few more in us here. Finish strong. 3, 2, 1. And that is it for our circuit. So go ahead and grab a sip of water if you need it. Then we're going to go ahead and make our way onto the ground for our cool down. And we definitely did a little bit of everything today, but we're going to go ahead and do some figure 4 piriformis stretch. So we're going to be on the back. We're going to open up our low back and our hips and our hamstrings, especially after that workout and also being at the desk. So we're going to start off, we're going to cross the right ankle above the left knee. You can press on that knee, and if that tension feels good, go ahead and stay there. If you need a little bit extra tension, go ahead and interlace those fingers and grab either behind the knee or in front of the shin and pull that knee towards the chest. So as we're doing this, we're going to start to slow the breath down, which is going to allow us to start to get our heart rate down, get our digestion ready for after this workout to go eat lunch. So we're breathing in through the nose and exhaling, sighing away the tension with each exhale through the mouth. We're going to go ahead and do one more deep breath. And as we have finished that exhale, we can gently bring that foot back to the ground. And then we're going to go ahead and switch sides. So we're going to take the left ankle above the right knee. And if that tension feels good, go ahead and stay there. If you need a little bit extra tension, go ahead and interlace those fingers and grab either behind the knee or in front of the shin and pull that knee towards the chest. And this is where you might begin to notice that maybe this side was a little bit tighter than the other side, or maybe the other side felt tighter than this side. You also might feel it in different areas based on which muscles are tighter in certain areas on each side. So just making a mental note of that. So maybe you can circle back to that area later on after you're done working, or you can come to a stretch break anytime, or not anytime, but 11 a.m. Monday through Thursday Pacific time, and just let us know. We can work on some stretches for those areas. We're going to go ahead and do one more deep breath. And as we have finished our exhale, we can gently bring that foot to the ground. And when we're ready, we'll go ahead and roll over onto our side. And you can return to a seated, kneeling, or standing position. That's going to be all the time we have for today's class. So thank you all so much for joining me. Definitely got a lot of different types of movements in today. But if you do have any requests or any ideas for words or themes, let me know. Hopefully we all enjoyed heat wave. We do have few more classes coming up today. So Wednesdays, we got 12:30 yoga with Janet. We got 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock, both with Beth, different classes, and then Zumba at 4:30 with Bardui. And then tomorrow, Thursday, we got all of our classes coming up too. So definitely check out our full schedule on SharePoint. And then don't forget, we do have our Summer Shred Slack Challenge starting next week. So you can sign up there again on SharePoint or Slack. You can keep up with us on Slack at #Exos. But thank you all for coming. Great job. And I'll see y'all later.